Going on, guys? I'm J.R. Modrieski. This here is the Aerobeez slick 91-inch wingspan banshee. This plane here, this is my second one. I had a little mishap with the first one, but this is the second. And obviously, it's just great quality from Aerobeez, so we'll go ahead and show you what we got. I've already opened the box just to take the fuselage and a few other components out of the packaging, but basically this is what you're going to receive. The pull's already installed and wired. Pretty nice, pretty easy.
Yep.
Saves a little bit of time there. The fuel tank. Thank you, John.
Yeah, let's get the canopy open.
Yeah,
we'll show the folks the fuel tank.
Exactly.
Go like this.
You pop this hatch off. Well, you don't really pop it off, but you unscrew the bolts. Actually, very convenient. Just like all the other new models, they all have the thumb screw. But you unscrew your hatch. There's your fuel tank. Of course, it's not plumbed or anything, but
it saves a lot of time.
Yeah, it gives you a general idea. And then here's your pull. You can see your carbon fiber reinforcement rods there on the bottom. And it's extremely light.
What do you think about poundage?
I mean, if I had to guess, the fuselage without the rudder installed, just as it is right here in shipment, man, I'd be lying to you if I told you an exact weight, but I'd say this is probably less than 2 pounds.
What about the canopy underneath it, like the backside of the canopy?
Oh, backside of the canopy. This here is all that styrofoam plyboard. So this whole canopy is extremely light. This is plastic. Basically, the only wood you see is right here.
What I would do with the canopy, though, is take some thick CA and a Q-tip and kind of harden this up. Because I've already noticed something right back here. It's kind of loose.
Yeah.
That may be to get the pallet figure in.
Yeah.
But you get that nice laser engraved. Just turn it over so folks can see it. This is what I like. It's a cartoon B, Aerobeez.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Actually, you're right, John. This here just got scotch tape just to hold this in so you can put your pilot figure in and then glue it in place.
And I would seal that off, coat it good with some thick CA. That'd buy it probably about 20 years of life right there. You know, just a little cheap insurance, a little free lunch to protect your investment there.
Probably some Elmer's glue and maybe some reinforcement right here, and that's about it.
Exactly.
I wouldn't use CA, that's just foam.
What I already like about this is this carbon, well, it's not really carbon, it's laminated plywood, but
on the firebox.
On the firebox.
Engine box or firebox. Well, see, this is very similar to the 3DHS, like the Edge 540 that I have, the white one. The canopy design is almost exactly the same. It's extremely light, but this plane's been in production for at least 2 to 3 years now, and hell, I think they're very competitive with 3DHS. Cowling's fairly light. Already has the wood mounting ring already installed. Yeah. And you can fit a DA100 in here.
Well, fitting a DNA 100 or any kind of twin cylinder, would you have to do any modifications or clearance into the cowling?
DA100, you will not even have to cut the cowling. A DA100 will fit in there perfect. The only thing you have to cut out is for the exhaust, and you would keep the cowling enclosed and run the. It comes with the tuned pipe box.
Really?
So what you would do?
It does have a pipe tunnel.
Yeah, but what you would do is you would keep the cowling enclosed, baffle the front, and then open up the bottom, and then have the air come out through the bottom, so you have a nice clean cowling. So you don't necessarily have to cut out the bottom.
Okay.
Then again, here.
And that's gonna make the engine run a lot cooler and get the hot exhaust gases out a lot quicker.
Then again, here in Texas, I mean, especially South Texas, late August, you know, doing a bunch of 3D maneuvers, you hover, I'm sure.
Well, let's get the fuse out of the way. Let's show the folks the tail sections and
oh yeah, well, we haven't even opened that.
Well, let's go ahead and open it up for the folks today. Anybody that's fucking lucky enough to view this damn fucking review, if that's what you fucking call it.
And the rudder is also just like all the other major manufacturers. You pull the rod, and you can pull the whole rudder. Side force generators, they come in the bag. Horizontal stab, actually, this would be very interesting for people to see. Does the horizontal stab come pre-hinged? Because if you look online, Aerobeez says that it does not come pre-hinged.
And that's fine if it doesn't come pre-hinged because people have their preferences of CA glue or epoxy, but in a model of this magnitude, this caliber, you would probably want to use some good 30mm epoxy for these hinges.
They come pre-hinged. That's definitely glued. It's glued and sealed with some clear tape. So your hinges come, at least this model or any other model I could assume or kit from Aerobeez would come pre-hinged and sealed.
That's the
with full deflection.
Elevators and
horizontal stab elevator.
Yeah.
Obviously full deflection, no problem.
No problems.
Carbon fiber plate right here for your horizontal stab. And slide the tube in. Servo will go right here. Bolt it up. This plane would probably be ready to fly in less than 10 hours.
Didn't you build one not too long ago and it said it took 22 hours to build, but you got yours built in
That's what they called for. They called for a 22-hour build, but I built it in 12.
So this would probably be, I would say you've already had experience
Now that I've already
with
built
this.
this exact airframe and I know exactly everything about it,
I would say you can, yeah, about 8 hours to 10 hours for you.
Drill the holes for the firewall, run the fuel tubing, servos, receiver, battery.
And of course tuning your radio in and all that good stuff. What about these wings here? What?
I don't know the exact airfoil. However, I can tell you.
It looks almost almost like a Clark Y airfoil.
I'm sorry?
It almost kind of resembles a Clark Y airfoil. Almost, but it's not.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know the exact airfoil. I can tell you that these wings really are extremely light.
I need a beer.
No.
Yeah, you can get my beer.
There you go.
I don't care what. We're trying to do an honest review, so people don't like
Honest
us drinking
reviews
beer.
are only honest whenever you're drinking alcoholic beverages.
And have Dolly Parton playing on the radio. Yeah. Anyway, back to business. There's one thing I can say about this plane. I love the tribal designs. And a lot of race cars I compete against, a lot of them have tribal paint jobs or wraps or whatever, and that seems to be been real popular here in the last 12 years, but
wow, I can just say in person, I don't know if y'all be able to see it, but of course it comes hinged. So your ailerons are hinged, your elevators are hinged. The only thing you have to run the hinge wire through would be your rudder, which that's fairly easy.
it comes hinged, but I would suggest go over it really good. Pull on them things. Pull on the ailerons. If it tries to come apart, then you know what to fix.
Here's your total deflection. From the manufacturer Aerobeez, that's hinges glued and installed, just like you'll get in the kit. Full deflection.
Let's look down the woodwork here. What we can see.
The wing's extremely light, fairly light. I mean, I
Ounces.
understand there's no servo in there, but I mean, this wing is so light. This would be the same quality you would get from 3DHS guys. For planes similar in size, but hell, I'd say for a couple $100 less. Carbon fiber tube holder, tube
A
guide.
couple $100 less and a lot better looking.
Yeah, that red pops. I don't know if y'all be able to see it, but this red really, it's a true color red. Against this black, it really pops.
Oh, yeah.
Not to mention, it comes pre-hinged and sealed. Has clear covering through the center of the hinges. Yeah. Now this will use the carbon fiber hinges that you make the slit in. Cut the square, cut a square out of your monocut, and then sand your hinges down with their carbon fiber. You sand them down. Put your plate on. Put the epoxy on. Set it in there. Some guys use 5. I like to use 5 minutes. Of course, that's, some people say that's a little soft for epoxy. You do 30 minutes or whatever.
Well,
I use 5 minutes. It works good. A lot of guys just use CA. So
I would suggest using epoxy. It's especially if you're going to use like Robart style hinges, but those are actually a barrel hinge.
Yeah.
You can use CA on those, but I mean, you've built one of these before. You know giant scale. Not going to argue with you about your glue preferences. They're just open shut right there.
If you glue it right, I don't care if it's 5 minute or 15 minute or 20 minute or CA. If you glue it right and you sand it right, you get a good bond, put a bond.
I noticed you got some nice looking wheel pants here and some rubber foam.
Yeah, the only complaint, and this will be the only complaint I have of Aerobeez, and it's not just Aerobeez specifically. Wheel pants, very strong. I'd say these are probably the best wheel pants out of all the manufacturers for 3D aircraft, like 3D HS, Hangar 9. Aerobeez, I would say, would be the best wheel pants. However, Aerobeez is failing just like 3D HS in one area, and it's probably in this box. But you come with the split hub wheels, and they suck.
Oh, Great Plains is doing that too.
Yeah, they suck. They're heavy. They're
doing
heavy, and the hub bolts actually back out, and they'll either catch the landing gear, or they'll fall completely out, and then wear your tire out.
The best wheel pants I found were the SIG wheel pants.
Yeah,
because they've already got the backing plates, and it's just bulked up. And
well, I mean, here I'll show you these Aerobeez wheel pants. In my opinion, are by far, and I've had Hangar 9, I've had the Hangar 9 Extra 300, I've had the Hangar 9 Cat 232, 33%, I've had a few different Hangar 9 aircraft, and the wheel pants, I think it's just something that's required on aerobatic aircraft to have wheel pants. It just doesn't look right if it doesn't. And all those other aircraft, the wheel pants suck.
Can we look inside the molding here? Because
these here are so reinforced and so thick.
That's how SIG does their wheel pants.
Yeah,
it's straightforward, easy to bolt on, no bull.
I mean, I'm squeezing fairly. On a Hangar 9, this would be halfway collapsed, and I'm squeezing, and it's not even really flexing. So, I will give them props.
Let's see one more time. This is painted.
I believe it is.
Now you could smooth that out with some 1,000 or 1,200 grit sandpaper and get these edges out and really make it slick if you're into a show quality airplane.
Yeah.
Other than that,
I tell you what, anybody that buys this kit, they're just going to want to put it together and go out and fly it. I mean, as little effort as it's going to take to get this bird in the air.
Parts.
And it's
replacement parts.
Oh, parts? Oh, Aerobeez is great. I've called them. I've contacted the manufacturer through Facebook. They responded within 4 hours. Of course, don't message them at 2 in the morning.
But you can get parts for this plane in case you wreck it.
Oh, yeah. And they give you a discount. Just be honest with them. Tell them, hey, I really like the airplane. This is what happened. Aerobeez will work with you. They're great people. They'll do anything they can to get you back in the air. So, I have nothing but good things to say about Aerobeez. A lot of other major, RC aircraft manufacturers don't do that. But Aerobeez will help you get back in the air. And they're super nice guys.
What about what's in the little box there?
In the little box, that's your hardware. Over here, they comes with stickers, obviously Aerobeez, and then you come with some patches for the monocode or correction. This isn't monocode; it's probably
that's just trim tape.
Yeah.
But at least they give you something.
And
They're
then,
throwing you a bone.
just like any other major 3D airframe out there, 3D kit out on the market.
Carbon
fiber gear, extremely light. Just like anything else. And then in this box, you have your hardware. It's glued in there, and I haven't opened it yet, but that'll probably be your tires, your hinges, correction.
On the tires, what kind of tires did you get?
Oh, speaking of which, that'd probably be, I know when I watch videos, I'd like for people to say the size of the tires. That way they can replace them with the size that is, or with the brand that is good. So
that's nice. Rubber wheels. I like to see a plane, an ARF, come with rubber wheels like you did.
Well, they come with these rubber wheels, but these screws back out, and then the actual hub wears into the tire, and then these are solid foam.
Make you fix that.
I haven't had good luck with them on 2 different aircraft manufacturers that actually had the same failure. But anyways, these are 3.5-inch size wheels. Go get you some Dubros, 3.5. You won't even have a problem. These are fairly light, but like I said, I haven't had good luck with them. The screws back out even with Loctite, and even if the screws don't back out, the hub, see how loose it is right there in the tire? It actually wears out that tire fairly well. I don't care how smooth you land. And just the weight of the airframe, it'll actually cut into the tire. Next thing you know, there'll be a big chunk missing. And
oh, well, that's no good.
Yeah, the
That's
whole
just
tire falls off. And
that's
next thing you know, you got one tire.
That's totally
that's good,
unacceptable
one
right
that's
there.
not.
Yeah.
You rip the whole gear
go
out.
with a Dubro. I mean, you got such a pretty plane. I mean, so you'd say Aerobeez did miss on that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just Aerobeez. I don't want to just, flag them. A lot of the aircraft manufacturers, hell, from what I've heard, Hangar 9's even doing it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I've heard. But, I mean, Aerobeez with their customer service and their reasonable price, I mean, this already comes, their pull already comes heat trained and wired. And it's just, man, compared to 3D HS, if I had to choose, after weighing in quality, completion of the kit when you receive it, and the price, Aerobeez all day, every day. Twice on Sunday. So, and
You gotta have it twice on Sunday because that's a flying day.
Yeah, and their customer service is second to none. I mean, I don't care if you even contact them through Facebook; they'll get with you. So,
What else is in the box?
Your hardware. Now, the instruction manual you have to download online.
Well, see, that's one thing I would say I don't like because you get the older folks, and I'm not trying to be smart for the video, but the 70 to 80-year-old people who fly and will fly something like this, some of them, not all of them, but some of them ain't computer literate, so I'm going to say they missed on that. They should throw an instruction manual.
Well, I tell you what, if anybody has an issue printing off a instruction manual or build manual on building this Banshee, you call or email. Well, if you're not computer literate, you wouldn't be able to email, but you call Aerobeez, I guarantee you they will, as good as their customer service is, they will email you or
send you something
or
in the
mail
mail.
you a build manual.
Well, that's good. At least they're throwing the bone out to people.
Then again, at the same time, as complete as this kit comes, I mean, if you can build a trainer, if you can build a Great Plains trainer, you can build this. I mean,
it looks fairly simple.
It's already hinged. All you do is glue in your carbon fiber. Not the brain part. Not your hinges, but your
Carbon fiber wing
control
joiners.
horns, your control horn.
Yes.
You glue in your control horns, and that's about it. And then mount your engine, and then electronics. Receiver, battery, servo, and you have a Banshee. And I've had one before, and I'll tell you what, this plane here, I'm surprised I don't see more of it flying because it's really a great flying airplane.
It makes me want to go buy one.
Oh, it's a great plane. It really is. It really is.
It really makes me want to go buy one, or at least try to cut some Monaco out and do that tribal color scheme. And myself, I'm partial to gunmetal gray and black because that's my signature racing color. But I'm also a big fan of red too. So very good colors.
It pops. It really pops. I hope it shows up in the video. But this red really just pops.
Oh yeah, that's gonna show up.
I mean, it really pops. And of course, you have the side force generators.
Like anybody uses them, but they're there.
And what's cool, I will say this is a little tip. It's a 91-inch wingspan, which anybody who flies RC, you either have like 60 class, like the DLE 61 or the DA 60 or the DA 70 twin. A DA or DLE 85 is a little much. The DA 100, yeah, if you want to rock and roll, but it can fit, but it probably overstretched the airframe. But the engine choice is a little bit, kind of narrowed. But EME has a 70 twin, which works good. But I'll let y'all do y'all's research on that. But what I was getting at is that if you have an 88-inch wingspan, 50 class, aerobatic plane, extra, yak, Sequoia, whatever you got, these wings will fit in the wing bag with the wing tube. So if you got a 50 class plane, you're like, oh, this one's 91 inch, I don't know if it's gonna fit, I gotta buy new wing bags. If you have wing bags, these will fit. If you have horizontal stabs, those will fit. So really, it's a little bit on the big, she's a chubby girl.
She's a chubby girl, but you're taking advantage of the full take-apart features.
Oh, well, the aerodynamic principles of this that are, designed into this airframe.
Well,
with that engine, that's displaying a lot of performance.
with the take-apart features, that goes back to the control line days, like for the Wendy Urnowski. they would build planes out of scratch with full take-apart features. Well, they'd actually take apart half the fuselage, put it in suitcases. That's one thing I'm going to see in the future, where the whole fuselage will come apart in halves.
Yeah.
But a whole take-apart feature with the wings and the horizontal stabs and all that, can't beat that, because, I mean, these planes can be a burden to haul around.
Oh, yeah.
And then that's a big plane. It ain't the biggest. It ain't as big as this plane, but whatever.
It's a. Oh, I wish you got that in the kitchen dirty, but whatever. This here is a can of corn. This weighs 1 pound, and I'm picking up fuselage.
Is that the only thing you have to eat?
I'd say this fuse maybe weighs 2 pounds at the most.
Hey,
So
it may weigh.
would they claim a
less,
flying weight of, I believe, 15 or 18 up to 19 pounds, depending on what kind of electronics you're using, servos and batteries and wire extensions, yada yada yada.
And some people like to field-proof their planes with glue, this, that, and everything. That adds a little weight, a little strength.
A little bit of weight, but at the end of the day, out of the box, a hinged airframe, as strong as this one is, as much as complete as it is, and as reasonable on the price as it is, not to mention the customer support. If somebody doesn't buy this airframe, I'd like to ask them why. Because this is,
Like I said, I'm about ready to go buy one myself. I mean, let me get into Giant Scale. We'll talk about it.
yeah.
It looks, well, I mean, it's a 3D plane, but the bigger they are, the easier to fly anyway.
To an extent, but like I said, I mean, this comes pre-hinged, and I mean, look at
that full deflection. What about blowback? Do you think you can get a lot of blowback from this plane?
I'm gonna run the NKS 777s. They're, God, I used to know the torque off the top of my head. I believe they're over 400 ounces.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I'll get any blowback. But you know, Aerobeez, I believe, only recommends 30 or 45 degree deflection. So that's just up to your personal preference.
Thing is, you need to get it together, and we need the video of the maiden flight. Good or bad, a non-biased review, and just see how it works.
I've had one, and the one I previously had, I had a DLE 85, and it flew like you would the name Banshee.
And we're going to a 100.
100 or D870 twin. I can't make up my mind yet. Everybody's telling me not to put the 100 on there, but it's only 3/10 of a pound heavier than the DLE 85, with a lot more power. And
well, it's like I've always told you too. Power's your friend. I mean, if you get into a bad wind situation,
well, the breakout of a hover and everything. I mean,
break out of a hover, you're too close to the ground. You're going in. You can pull up and pull out of
the issue
trouble.
is the center of gravity. I'm going to be using the Fromco lithium-ion batteries. They're fairly light. They're not as light as lipos, but they don't have the chemical composition or hazards of the lithium polymers.
You know, I will make a suggestion to you, JR. If you have to add any tail weight, you see the fuselage? Let's see the bottom of the fuselage. Can we? If it was me and we had to add tail weight to it, I would cut into that fuselage and add the weight, and then glue back the wood, and then do a covering job, because that is too pretty of a covering job and just be sticking on weights.
Well,
that's just my suggestion.
What I did, there's like a little bulkhead right here.
Okay.
And when I put the DLE 85, I strapped two nickel metal hydride 2700 milliamp JR batteries, 6L. I don't know the weight off the top of my head, but there's two of them mounted right back here, and of course the ignition battery was up front, and she balanced out right with the DLE 85. But just to give you an idea, that's how far aft.
Would it hurt to run the ignition battery far back and just run an extension lead?
You can ask 99 different people and get 99 different answers.
I mean,
some will argue that it can give you radio interference. Me, personally, I've never experienced that. So technically speaking, from my experience, what I've experienced, I've never had that issue.
Okay.
And you could mount the ignition battery in the back. Of course,
usable weight instead of adding any weight. Because, I mean, a plane like this, the way it's designed, You gotta go the figure. If you start adding weight here, adding weight there.
The complication with this plane you're going to run into, it's so light, a DLE61 will pretty much make it do anything you want.
Okay.
But to get crazy with it, you're going to need a 70. And anything over that, you're going to have to add so much weight aft to get the CG correct.
That's what I'm worried.
You
might like I say, adding weight there, instead of adding extra weight,
and then
move around the usable weight.
Then the airframe's so stressed because they added weight to get the CG correct. You know, instead of the wings having the 100-pound.
Where is the CG located on this plane?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's 20%, but don't quote me on that. You have to look at the strip.
20% from the leading edge, correct?
Well, every airframe is different, but what I do is me personally, what I do is I go off the wing tube, which usually gives you an aft CG.
Okay.
But Aerobeez Banshee, great airplane. That's on sale for $5.99. And man, I tell you what, for the price you can't beat it. Everything pretty much comes done. Mount servos, mount the hinges, control surfaces, or correction, not the control surfaces, the control arms, and run your wires, battery, receiver, engine, props, spinner. Thanks guys for watching the video. I'd like to give a big thanks to Aerobeez. Thank you for making a great product and having awesome customer service. And